Hi there, my name is Anzio Jacobs, and today I'd like to tell you a little bit more about how to be more aware of LGBTQ issues within your working environment. LGBTQ persons tend to look for working environments or ethos that are inclusive and affirming of their identities. Looking for such environments is often a challenge. And so, when finding a company that is affirming of one's pronouns, understanding that diversity is important to a workforce, and seeing an environment where people are able to be comfortable in their own skin is really important. Paying attention to media depictions of LGBTQ communities is equally important. This not only to broaden your knowledge, but to be able to engage LGBTQ communities in ways that are respectful and not contentious. Oftentimes, by engaging with media depictions of LGBTQ individuals, we're able to get a glimpse into their lived realities. The depictions on social media, as well as in the media more generally, may not always be accurate, but is a good step in the right direction for finding out more information. By using gender-neutral language, we are able to indicate to all colleagues in our working environments that the space is inclusive. Using gender-neutral language steps away from the status quo, which insists that there is only binary gender. This means that spaces are either male or female exclusively. And that leaves very little room for persons who do not identify with either of those. Be part of championing change that will make environments more inclusive. By being aware of some of the issues that affect LGBTQ communities, we can be part of the champions that come into workspaces and make environments that are inclusive of all. Understanding that people have intersectional identities and that they do not just bring one facet of themselves to work is a really important part in creating such affirmation. In instances where you are able to do so, be mindful of what work policies are in place. Oftentimes, because policies have been there for such a long time, they exclude many individuals rather than being inclusive. So, if we are mindful of what exclusionary clauses there are in policies, we are able to engage to remove those or to improve on policies so that they are more inclusive of all persons within our working environments. In more instances than not, businesses have affinity groups. Affinity groups have been established so that particularly LGBTQ communities, although not exclusively, are able to come together and discuss issues that are affecting them within workplaces, find community amongst themselves and colleagues, and be able to use those communities to leverage for better praxis within working spaces. If your company does not have an affinity group, it may be useful for you to find out whether one may be started and what the process is of starting one. There's so much to learn from affinity groups. These often allow us to engage in diversity and inclusion in a way that is sustainable and in a way that is driven by employees in a company. Call on HR practitioners within your working environment for ongoing D&I training. Diversity and inclusion training is often training that gets provided on a broad range of diversity issues. However, in many instances, these trainings are tailored to the needs of particular communities. LGBTQIA+ issues are often discussed alongside issues of race, gender, sexual orientation, language, faith, and other issues. You could be more aware of issues that are affecting those around you by being aware of some of the biases that HR practitioners in particular may hold. Understanding those biases are not always coming from negative space, but rather that they are from a lived experience and many years of being taught to people. Our environments have historically not been inclusive, and therefore we do need to pay attention to how we can make them so. You could also be more aware of the types of jokes and comments that get made in your working environment. Oftentimes, because these are common cause, jokes arise in our workspaces that are not always sensitive to those around us, where colleagues are speaking about someone's sexual orientation or gender identity, not realizing that what is being said may be harmful to those around you. Encourage colleagues to be authentic in the working environment. Allowing one to bring one's full self to work, and not leave any element behind at home, encourages productivity and encourages great creativity in working environments. Be part of raising awareness around things like microaggressions, to ensure that communities that may be negatively affected by such are able to take a stand within the working environment and call out issues that may be affecting them without fear of prejudice.